Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we're back with another Thursday blind head-to-head. So we're going to randomly select one of these and taste them completely blind so that you can see our honest opinions on what we're tasting. If it's available, is it worth the money? If it's allocated, is it worth the hype? That's what we're here to find out.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
We're not professional whiskey tasters, but we're going to randomly select one of these pairs and taste them totally blind. You'll see us react to the pour and the price before finding out what we're sipping. Ultimately, we're going to give each pour a real-world score based on the taste, the price and the availability, and whether we would buy it again or not.
If you like videos like this, give it a big old thumbs up. We post these every Thursday, so don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified if you hit that notification bell when we post.
Do it. All right, let's find out which one of these 18 pairs we are going to be tasting. Pair number 14. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These two right here. We're going to get these poured and we'll be right back with our first impressions on glass one. All right, let's get into glass one. Whoa, that smells like beer. Smells like Budweiser beer.
I can get that with ethanol, with like rubbing alcohol in it. Like you take a Budweiser and pour rubbing alcohol in it.
I get some samples mixed up or something. That is wild. I'm sorry. Like I try to let you speak first because I don't want to influence you.
No, it's okay.
But that's exactly what that smells like.
I'm here for it. Let's taste it.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know what it tastes like.
Not much of anything, really.
It tastes kind of tart. It tastes kind of tart on the back palate. Like the back of my mouth is a little tart.
I can see your tart note there. I'm getting a little bit of a woody note, but it's really quite pleasant on the back end. It's very faint for my personal preferences. But what little is there is kind of enjoyable.
Yeah. I taste it more on the back. Like there's not much happening up front, but on the back there's a lot going on. Okay.
So I got some fruity sweetness on the front to mid palate, and I'm getting that on the nose now. And I'm also getting that woodiness on the back side. I'm not getting the woodiness on the nose, but one more sip on this one.
Kind of almost tastes tea-like as well, a little bit. Like if I open my mouth when I'm swallowing, it kind of tastes tea-like.
Yeah.
In it.
I can see how you could go that direction. To me, it's just more on that fruity sweet. Any kind of oak that was there is just like a whisper. It's a whisper of an oak. And it's just more of like a fruity, light sweetness. It's nothing offensive about it. There's just not a lot there.
Yeah.
Let's get into glass two.
This smells more alcohol-y, like rubbing alcohol-y
than
the last one.
More alcohol-y, more rubbing alcohol-y, yeah. But there's also a little bit more of like a caramel note, like a deeper, richer note in there.
I'm not getting that. All I smell is rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I'm getting very little rubbing alcohol. It, again, smells faint.
It tastes like cherry. Why am I tasting cherry and everything?
I've been on a cherry run lately. I'm not getting cherry at all. I'm getting, I don't know what I'm getting. I think it's like a little bit of caramel, but it's a little, like, really light. Like it's not, I don't know if there's different strengths of caramel, like there's different strengths of chocolate. Whereas this one had like a whisper of oak, this one has a whisper of caramel. There's just not a lot going on in either one of these glasses.
I could see that. Almost, for me, it's almost like burnt caramel.
Yeah.
Like,
but really light.
Like crystallized.
Yeah, but when you think of burnt caramel, you think of like a really dark, rich flavor.
No, I think like crystallized caramel, like crystallized sugar when it's turning into caramel, like that kind of process, like right before it's caramel or caramelized, whatever they say, like when the crystallized sugar is becoming. I don't know science.
Can we talk about how the word caramel has a second A in it? That matters.
Caramel.
It's caramel. I know some people say caramel. You might be watching and saying this too.
What if it's caramel? What if they say caramel? Caramel.
That's fine too. But just pronounce the second A. It's there. It's like you're mispronouncing somebody's name on purpose. Let's get it together, people.
Okay, you got Joshua.
Yeah, I'm not getting a lot on either one of these. This is going to be really interesting to take some time, clear our palates out. I mean, there's not much that needs to be cleared, but we're going to take some time to clear our palates out and give these their proper dues. We'll be back with our full thoughts after this. All right, after spending some time with these two pours, what do you think? Let's start with glass one.
So glass one got worse for me as I drank it.
It did for me too.
I gave it just okay on nose. It started to smell like straw after a minute, and I didn't like that.
I can see that, yeah.
I gave it just okay on flavor because it was just okay. And then I gave it just okay on experience overall. I mean, it was fine, but it was just okay.
Yeah, I think that straw note that you're mentioning is a little bit of the yeasty note that I got that I thought smelled like beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smelled like a Bud Heavy, but like that kind of went away and it just turned into like a one note fruity sweetness for me. So I gave it just okay on the nose. Nothing offensive there, but kind of meh.
Yeah.
And then I gave it just okay on the flavors. Shout out to Matt Porter from ADHD Whiskey. He dropped a tasting note that was talking about an apple core. And I asked you, I was like, does an apple core really taste different from the apple?
Eat the core.
But it does. It does.
But yeah.
And this started smelling like a day-old green apple core to me.
Interesting.
Maybe that's just because I watched Matt's video and I saw that.
Have you ever eaten enough of an apple to taste close to the apple core?
No, but I know what it smells like.
Okay.
I know what it smells like, and smell is so tied to taste, right?
Okay.
That's what it started to taste like to me. So just okay on the flavors. And then experience, thumbs down for me. There was like a whisper of flavor there, and then it just kind of disappeared, and there just wasn't much going on at all in glass one for me.
And it got worse as I drank more.
Yeah, it's just kind of a fruity one note thing, and it's so faint. And I like higher proof, bigger flavors. Yeah, it tasted like I was drinking something that was very watered down. Let's go into glass two. Where are you at?
So glass two, it got a little better as I was taking some time with it.
Same.
I ended up giving it a thumbs up on nose. I feel like I got a bacon smell on the nose,
Interesting.
I don't know, it's like a thick, warm smell, bacony.
Okay.
And then it gets a thumbs up on flavor because I wrote bacon and maraschino cherries, which isn't bad together. Like,
no, I'd be happy with that. I'm not getting that, but I'd be happy if I did.
And so it gets a thumbs up there, and then it gets a thumbs up in overall experience because I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gave glass two just okay on the nose. I wrote dusty corn, faint caramel, and that little light rubbing alcohol note, but it's kind of faded into the background. It's still there, but it's in the background. On the flavors, I gave it just okay. It just kind of went like a corny sweetness. Whatever the fruity sweetness that was in glass one and the corny sweetness in glass two, the corny sweetness was a little darker than the fruity sweetness, and I like that, which is kind of to your point of glass two being a little bit, I almost wrote richer, but it's not really rich.
It's like meaty. That's why I think I put bacon.
Yeah, like it's not really rich though, but it's darker than glass one. And then experience, I put thumbs down.
Really?
Again, it's just a whisper of flavor. There's just not a lot there.
You're a proof hound, aren't you?
A little bit. I will say the finish on glass two is better. Like there's definitely a hug there.
Yeah.
It's very, very faint, but it does hit you.
Yeah.
And I preferred the darker flavors in glass two. By your score, these scored the same for me. But by your score, you prefer glass two.
I did.
I also prefer glass two, again, for those darker flavors.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the reveal. So price first, glass one is number 13 and glass two is number 12. And Aaron always likes it when glass two is the lower number.
Yeah, it's so confusing. Okay.
So glass number one, 13, the one we like the least of the two.
Okay.
Price?
$15.
Okay. I mean, $15, like, it's hard to be mad at that. That's barely anything. But I feel like there's other things at $15 that are much better than that.
Well, hold on. Glass 12 is only $20.
Okay. Well, glass 12 is a little more expensive, but we liked it a little better. So that's not bad.
But not by a ton. $5.
No, not by a ton.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I don't love that. I feel like there's other products on the market that bring a lot more flavor, like, than these two.
Yeah.
But who knows? All right. Hit the button. Let's find out what they are. So glass one, number 13, our least preferred. Jim
Beam White Label. 80 proof. And then 12 is Jack Daniels.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I would not have guessed that. So
isn't Jack Daniels the one where normally it's like banana?
Yeah. I didn't get that.
Nah, I never get banana.
Now I do.
Of course you do.
Yeah, it's in there, but it's so faint. This is interesting.
He didn't get it.
No, so this was we have some things in our blind pool, our blind head-to-head pool, that keep us honest, so that we know not everything in there is good or even supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Like I've never had either one of these by themselves, except maybe Jack Daniels in a shot 15 years ago.
When you were in college, yeah.
Yeah. But even then, probably not.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of whiskey shots
Yeah.
back in the day. So I don't think I've ever had either one of these. And I went out and bought both of these months back and put it in our blind pool just to see, like, these are two bourbons that are typically mixers. Don't get your knickers in a twist about me calling Jack Daniels bourbon. The master distiller said it's bourbon. So 13 and 12.
Wow.
That's
interesting.
Very, very interesting. I mean, similar price points. We're in Nashville. We're not far from Jack Daniels, so stores get a little wonky with their pricing around here sometimes. Like, they know they're going to sell Jack, so they mark it up a little bit. And, you know, if it's like a small family-run operation, I'll pay a little bit more for it. I mean, my family loves Jack and Cokes. As a matter of fact, time out. And we're back. And speaking of mixers, and most people using these for mixers, and my family drinking a lot of Jack and Coke.
Magic just happened.
And we are back. So we know neat, we both prefer Jack Daniels over Jim Beam White Label, but what about in Coke? So we have, again, keeping with our pattern here, Jim Beam White Label is in the glass on the right with a little bit of Coke, and then Jack Daniels in the glass on the left with a little bit of Coke.
Okay.
So let's find out if we still prefer it mixed into Coke. Now, go, by all means, go ahead. We'll start and we'll switch swap.
Cheers.
Cheers. Familiar taste. So we go to Nashville Sounds games and we get frozen Jack and Cokes. They're like a slushy, like those cola slushies.
They can't call them Jack and Cokes anymore, though.
Right.
They used to. They just call them Bourbon and Coke now.
Yeah, but this is what it tastes like, except a liquid form instead of a slushy form, which is a slushy form is vastly superior to pure liquid form when it comes to this type of delivery mechanism.
Interesting. They taste different. I didn't think they would taste different.
They taste quite a bit different, actually.
I expected them to be the same.
Because you thought there would be... Well, these do have quite a lot of alcohol in them.
Okay.
Yeah. My family does not measure things. It's like chunk the ice in, fill the glass up halfway with the liquor, dump Coke in. So Aaron is now having the Jim Beam. I'm going to try the Jack Daniels again. We're going to get to the bottom of why this matchup's really in here.
Okay, so... with the Jim Beam, I can taste... I feel like the Jim Beam is... Did you put the same amount of alcohol in each? Okay. The Jim Beam with the Coke is a little more balanced. I'm tasting both. Whereas the Jack Daniels with the Coke, I'm mostly tasting the alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me try the Jim Beam one more time.
Yeah. It's quite interesting. I totally expected them to taste the same.
See, I'm getting the opposite. The Jim Beam mixed with the Coke... there's like this brightness there that almost makes the Coca-Cola taste a little bit more like a flat Pepsi. There's this brightness, this pop of brightness that the alcohol is contributing.
Maybe, I don't know.
That is not happening in the Jack.
I don't drink a lot of Coke or Pepsi, so I don't honestly know.
In the Jack and Coke, the Jack is just lending a different kind of sweetness to kind of augment. Man, I feel smart using the word augment.
You are smart.
To augment the Coca-Cola sweetness, but that's just not happening in the Jim. So for me, for you, which one is it between the Jim and the Jack in Coke?
I don't know.
What's your preference? We both prefer Jack neat.
Too much pressure.
Right on the spot.
I gotta go with the Jim Beam.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe I just said that.
I think I have to go Jack, but let me take one more sip to just be sure.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just hitting me in a certain way tonight. I honestly haven't had Coke in a hot minute, so I just think I really enjoy tasting the Coke.
It has a more cola flavor to it than the Jack and Coke.
And I think that might be what I'm just wanting tonight because I haven't had it in a hot second, and I kind of like it.
I got to go with the Jack.
I do wish it were Dr. Pepper though.
And again, I'm highly biased. Like that tastes like those slushies at the Nashville Sounds games. So for me, it's Jack. But hey, I mean, for the price, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, either one would be fine as a mixer.
Let me ask you this way.
Okay.
Talking about preferences. This is $15 readily available. This is $20 readily available. You know, some places sell them for the same amount of money. Some places around here sell Jack for a little bit more. but you're going to have one that you can sip neat and also mix in.
I'd go Jack Daniels.
You go Jack?
Mm-hmm. Because if I was using it for both, I would go Jack because I feel like it's more versatile.
And see, right there is what happens when you know your partner and you know that she's kind of frugal and she wouldn't buy both. And I wanted her to answer that Jack Daniels was the winner. So
it was, yeah.
Which shows my bias. But nonetheless, that's the way this comparison went down. You guys have seen metrics like categories on the screen for retail and consumer categories. Mm-hmm. And what those are the retail side of the equation, which is the price and the availability, and the consumer side of the equation, whether we buy it again or not. We do need to rate these.
Okay.
Most people use them for mixers, so I think technically you can rate them on their mixability, that's the word, or neat, however you want to do it. So where are you at on Jim Beam, white label, retail category, price and availability?
For the price and the availability, $15, 2 thumbs up. Like,
yeah,
whether I like it or not, that's a good price and good availability.
It is.
So 2 thumbs up.
And then would you buy it again or not?
It gets just okay. I probably wouldn't buy it again, but if there was nothing else, then I'd pick it up because it's so cheap.
Or if you needed a cheap mixer.
If I needed a cheap mixer and I knew it was a good quality cheap mixer, yeah, I'd buy it.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to give Jim Beam 1 thumbs up.
Okay.
Sorry. I almost went 2 thumbs up, but when I started thinking about it on the retail category, I'm like, for about the same price, I could just get Jack Daniels. So I would just get the Jack, which I'm kind of blurring lines here. But for the retail side of the equation on Jim Beam, I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. And that's only hampered slightly by the fact that I just didn't really like the flavor profile across the board.
That's fair.
As far as whether I would buy it again or not, that kind of contributes to this as well. I'm giving it a thumbs down because there's something else that's available for the money that is a little bit preferable to me. Yeah, it's that glass. Let's go into Jack Daniels. Where are you at on glass 2?
Okay, again, $20, great price. I'd feel comfortable paying that. So 2 thumbs up for that, for the retail score. And then I would buy it again. It gets a thumbs up there because I did prefer it over the Jim Beam. So I would buy it. If I could only get one, if there are 2 of these on the shelves and I had to buy one, I would get the Jack. So it gets a thumbs up.
Yeah. For me, Jack Daniels gets 2 thumbs up on the retail score. That's where I kind of came to.
Yeah.
And that's why Jim Beam got 1 thumbs up on retail. Because for the price, I'd rather just get the Jack Daniels. And the price is great. You can't beat the price. You can't beat the availability. Good product.
Yeah.
Whether I would buy it again or not, I gave it a just okay. I don't do a lot of Jack and Coke personally.
Yeah.
I mean, my family does, but I don't. I tend to prefer to sip things neat. I could see giving it a thumbs up for sure because it's not offensive neat, but it's just not something that I'm ever going to reach for unless I'm mixing it in something. So
fair.
For me, it's a just okay on whether I would buy it again or not.
We get our real world scores by adding up the thumbs you've seen on the screen.
There are 10 possible points available, but this ain't your Uncle Jack or Jim's 10-point scoring system.
It's more like a bell curve.
Through hundreds of blind tastings, we found out that even the hyped up allocated stuff kind of falls in the middle point of that bell curve. Now, obviously, neither one of these are very hyped up and allocated, but nonetheless, we grade on a bell curve across the board.
What we found is anything in that 4 to 6 point range is good value for the price, and anything that scores higher than that is exceptional, and lower than that is less exceptional.
We score this way because we're looking for products that truly stand out on taste and value. Those are products we like to spend our money on and we feel comfortable recommending to you. With that said, let's get into our real world scores. All right, so Jim Beam White Label, where are you at on real world score?
Good old Jim. He gets a 4 out of 10 for me, which...
Not bad.
It's in the middle range. Like, it's fine. I mean, the price and availability really helped. Yeah. Like, for real.
Obviously, it's a value buy.
It's a value
buy. And that helps it out. And there's nothing off-putting in it, necessarily.
No, it's nothing off-putting. It's just regular.
Yeah. Okay. And then for me, Jim Beam White Label gets a 2 out of 10.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
So... And honestly, it probably could have scored a little bit better, but for the money, it didn't feel like as much of a value buy to me because I just had something I would prefer to buy more.
Okay.
Speaking of, let's get into Jack Daniels real world score.
Right.
So Jack Daniels, where are you at on real world score?
So Jack gets 6 out of 10.
Jackie gets a 6 out of 10.
Jackie gets a 6. Solid.
Wow.
Solid pour. I mean, decent. And then the price and availability, like, again, that really bumped that sucker up. So
yeah, for me, Jack Daniels gets a 3.5 out of 10. I mean, we're approaching the midpoint.
I'm getting a little more loosey goosey, and you're getting a little more tight with your scoring.
I am, yeah. But I'm also trying to be more loose when it's warranted. I just don't drink mixers a lot, and that's what these are. So if you looked at a chart of all our scoring, like, I think Jack Daniels and Eagle Rare have scored similar. Obviously, if I'm going to sit down and have a pour of the two, I would rather have a pour of Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
But they're different. There was no situation under which you would ever compare those two pours.
Yeah.
Period. Like, they are what they are. For a mixer, I don't think a mixer could score higher than a 3.5 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
So for Jack Daniels to be this good, and I think I even said during the tasting portion or the first impressions, like, there was a little bit of a finish.
A little hug.
So to even get that much was impressive for Jack Daniels. I'm actually kind of impressed with Jack Daniels in this comparison, even though it scored a 3.5. So these are obviously for people who just want to mix it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
mix it up, put a little Coke on it, splashes Sprite, I don't know.
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale.
People love ginger ale and
Jack and
Jim
Ginger.
Beam.
Jack and Ginger. I honestly, I used to get those at the bars.
If you like mixers and you want to find out which one you prefer from here on to eternity, just buy both and find out.
Yeah.
Or pick whichever one has the best price or the best label or the best bottle shape. I mean, they might as well be identical.
I like them both better in Coke.
Yeah. And if you like this channel better than...
In Coca-Cola.
And you want to support us by going down to the link in Patreon, and you would like to support the channel that way, then you can.
Yeah.
$3 a month. You can support the channel. You can join our online community. I'm trying to get way too cute with my analogies here.
It's all good.
I really thought I nailed that transition. So, again, we're off the rails here. This is bound to happen when you start mixing stuff up. But check it out down there. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Community element. We've got blind tasting kits if this is the sort of thing you like.
And we do videos on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, but we also do 2 extra videos a month on Patreon.
Yeah.
So
and those are super fun. They're way more laid back. They're honestly a lot of what you just saw for the last few minutes of this video.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more off the rails. We call them Stuff and Whiskey Uncut. So if you like this, if you're into it, check it out down there and get into it. And you can also check the video description below for our upcoming live stream, which also has a lot of this silliness in it. And we have a ton of fun at those. It's like a virtual happy hour. And we also try to wrap in some type of theme with the episode for the month.
Yeah.
And it's just a ton of fun. So check it out. We'd love to have you join us.
Thank you so much for watching. If you've had Jim Beam, White Label, and Jack Daniels, do you prefer it neat or in something? Let us know in the comments below.
I would love to hear from anybody that loves to sip these neat.
Yeah,
I'm curious. That would be neat.
That would be neat. That'd be swell.
Yeah. Till next week, guys.
Cheers.